Happy Friday, everybody. We got to get into some stuff. So welcome to No Offense, All Offense. Hopefully we're in something comfy. Smash that like, grab a beverage, and let's get this party started.
If you like what you see, come and get it with me. I know you deserve all you want, 'cause your heart's made of gold. But don't wait till you're old. If you want it, I get you some.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, stand-up comedian and pop culture vulture. Joleen Lunzer here for another No Offense, All Offense, the live show where we take a look and we roast and we recap and we react to trending news stories, pop culture, our favorite reality shows, things we love to hate, things we hate to love. Remember, we are looking at this comedically, and I'm very opinionated, but that doesn't mean you have to have the same opinion. You are welcome to have your own opinion, even if it's different than mine. And you can sound off in the live chat or the comment section, and we can just agree to disagree.
That's my opinion!
It's just my opinion. It is Friday, so that means that we are going to have appearance by none other than hype man husband Chell. Hopefully he's in the right live, because I do not see him backstage, so I might have to go check on him to see if he actually grabbed the correct live. But we're gonna talk about the husbands today.
Talk about the husbands. Excuse me, did you just say let's talk about the husbands? Let's talk about the husbands. Excuse me, did you just say let's talk about the husbands?
Let's talk about the husband. Talk about the husband. Excuse me, did you just say let's talk about the husband? I still don't see him back here, so I'm gonna have to go check on him. Hi, Chell. Make sure you're in the right live and come on up and talk to us. I told Chell, I said, it's Friday. You're the producer on Friday. So what are we talking about? He's like, I don't know. And I'm like, that is kind of part of your job, is to find what stories we're going to talk about. So hopefully Chell found some stories, you guys. But smash that like if you haven't already. It helps the channel. It also tells YouTube, hello, we are here. And invites other people. Nana says, you need to send them a link. Hi, everyone. Nana, Chell, you don't need a link. You are a administrator. Okay, I'll send you a link, but you don't need a link because you're on the team. And so you should just be able to log into StreamYard and get into my account like Nana used to be able to, but for some reason Nana can't anymore. But let me send this to you, Jill. But smash that like, hit that subscribe if you guys haven't already. And I keep clicking on the wrong thing. I'm trying to FaceTime people. No, don't FaceTime people. You guys, it is Friday. I am super tired. I did 3 live streams yesterday and a comedy show. So my brain feels like mush right now. But I'm here and we're going to have some fun. Okay, Chill, let me send this to you. If you want to support the channel further, you can always do what Ilse Albert did here, which is send a super chat or super sticker. Oh no, did I freeze up? Hopefully I didn't. Let me pop myself off. Okay, can you guys still hear me? I think I might have been frozen for a second. I don't know what is going on. It's Friday. So if you want to support the channel further, you can do what Ilse Albert did here. Send a super chat or a super sticker. You guys are lighting it up already. Thank you, Chickenhead PK Neely, for the super chat as well. Happy Friday and yay for Chell. Yay for Chell. Yes. Okay. So let me see if, no, my camera's not working. Oh no. Let me bump out, you guys, and I'll be right back. Make sure you smash the like. You guys, thank you so much. Happy Friday, Jolene, Chell, fur babies, everyone. All right, let me see what's going on. Let's play a little commercial break while I try to bump out and bump back in so we can get this party started correctly. Here's a nostalgic commercial break.
Welcome to Goth Talk. I'm Cersei Nightshade.
And I'm Azrael Abyss, Prince of Sorrow.
Tonight, we're coming to you live from Suncoast High School. We're just down this hall. The pathetic day dwellers of the class of 1998 are celebrating the tawdry amusement known as the prom.
This is wrong.
What?
You. Doing my homework, it's wrong.
Well, I was just trying to help.
It's like I'm taking advantage of you or something.
You're not taking advantage of me.
The square of the hypotenuse of a right triangle is equal to the sums of the square of the other two sides, baby!
It would be different if we were like... But now, we're just... You know... a friend or whatever.
No time! There's never any time! I don't have time to study! I'll never get into Stanford! I'll let everyone down! I'm so confused!
I can't do this anymore.
It's okay.
You're right.
It's okay.
Everything will be okay.
Yeah.
I just need one of these.
Pills? You mean you really are taking drugs?
No, in a way it was wrong, but I just have a feeling that this is going to be really good.
I don't know.
So whoever's going to tutor you, their name is next to yours.
Brain Krakow?
Are you... Brain?
Brian.
I need them.
Jesse, give me those.
I need them, Zach. I have to sing.
Jesse! You can't sing tonight.
Yes, I can. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so scared.
So, anyway, The Odyssey is like this real long book, right? And
I don't believe this. I don't... You like do this? This is like how you live?
Yeah.
Hey, brain. Okay, I don't know what was going on with my StreamYard, but hopefully everything is fixed and we're all fine and dandy randy. All right, so without further ado, I see Chell backstage. I'm gonna bump him up here, but again, we'll have to play his intro because he has to experience it and appreciate it for all of its glory, and I love it. So let's talk about the husband Friday with Hype Man Husband Chell.
The husband. Excuse me, can you just say let's talk about the husband? Let's talk about the husband. Excuse me, can you just say let's talk about the husband?
Let's talk about the husband. Talk about the husband. Hi, Chell.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I think you might have a little bit of something on your lip or something.
Oh, okay.
We did just eat a little late breakfast. So,
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
of course, I'm here to look out for you. Your mic, I don't have my AirPods in, so let me know, you guys, if it's an issue, if the sound is weird with Chell just coming through naturally in my speakers. But how are you, Hype Man? We just celebrated 10 years of marriage. Are you just loving life?
It's all right. Occasional sassiness. You're like, okay, let's see how the day goes.
I'm not sassy. I'm assertive, and I know what I want. Remember?
Some people would say sassy. I'm not allowed to say the words bossy.
No.
I'm not allowed to say that you light gas me.
Light gas, like Jax.
But I was actually in a different studio. It was just all confusing when I entered StreamYard that there was one created this morning, and I thought it was inside that one, which is your Traders Roast and Recap. That's why I was like, where is she?
I had a feeling because I have quite a few that I have planned ahead. I'm trying to plan ahead. Are you proud of me?
Yeah, that's really good.
Thank you. Oh, thanks, Shine. I put a cute anniversary video of me and Chell on my Instagram. And Chell, you liked it, obviously.
Yeah, you showed me because I'm not an Instagram person or like social media person. So you're always like, check out this video. And I'm like, that was really nice.
You got rid of social media a while ago.
I didn't get rid of it. I still check in from time to time because people message me there, but I get back to them like months later. So I feel like I'm a horrible, because it's all like, all right, well, I guess I didn't need that. And you're like, no, I don't do social media.
Yeah, that's
So
okay.
it just takes up too much of my attention during this time when I'm in school. And I just would rather just kind of step away from that. And then also, there's that whole like when you're on Instagram, you're like, oh man, they're having such a great life. what am I doing with mine? And then you're like, no,
Yeah.
you're in school, bro. Just relax.
Yeah, it's that saying, comparison is the thief of joy.
It really is. And that especially like Instagram, which is just all photos, you just kind of be like, oh man, I wish I could do that right now. But ultimately, we all live our lives and we all have opportunities to do cool things. And life isn't always A+ all the time.
No, and things aren't always happening in life.
Mm-mm.
And sometimes you have days where you don't want to get out of bed, and sometimes you have days where you feel like you can conquer the world, and it's ebbs and
I
flows.
was wanting to talk to you about those days where you don't feel like getting out of bed. I don't think that's healthy.
Bring it on. Bring it on. No, but I mean, Instagram will make things look like they are so perfect and wonderful. But
well, I had read that they have timers on how long you're on something. So if you look at a photo for a long time, they're going to show you more of that stuff. So I'm sure if you're hate watching other people's lives, like zooming in on photos and stuff, Instagram's going to think like, oh, they must like this content. And then they're just going to keep showing you like your friends on like fabulous vacations. You're like,
do you hate watching your friends? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, of course. You always hate watch your friends. That's why you have friends.
Just hate watch. No one's really happy. Yeah.
That's what I do with you. I hate watch you. No, I'm just joking.
Wow.
I love watch you.
Break my heart.
I'm so sorry.
Right there with you, Chell. Thank you. Janine says, love the way you both are so cool with each other. Oh, Janine, I appreciate that. Some people say we look too young to be married 10 years.
Yeah, you think so?
I don't think I look too young, but Chell.
All I know is when we got married to now, we have aged. So I don't know. Marriage is rough, man. It just ages you. I mean, I'm 10 years in.
What makes you say that we've aged so badly?
Because it's
not badly,
a joke on the idea that, you age naturally, and that's the idea.
We do both look back on those pictures. We're like, damn, we were so young, and we were just like, it's crazy.
But it's funny that you think so young is like 30, because I think, especially our wedding photos. I mean, I was 30.
I was about to be 35.
Like, hey, you're so young. But like, you think about when you're a kid and you're like, 30, that's so fucking old.
Yeah. And now looking back on it, just about to be 45, I'm like, oh, 30 is so young.
Yeah, it really is. But it's like what your parents told us, which is like your 30s are like a really good decade because you know who you are and you're more confident in yourself. But entering my 40s has been really nice in terms of seeing like a sense of direction and having a sense of, just having a more sense of direction in terms of like what I'm doing and enjoying what I see, but also appreciating, which I think sometimes in our younger years, we don't really appreciate what we have.
Yeah. So. No, I think that's 100% true. I think with age and time gives you perspective and appreciation that I wish I would have had more of when I was younger. But that's the thing. It's like you age and you know so much more and you have so much more perspective, but then your body kind of is like, and that's kind of why Nana was always like, the 30s is the best because the body is just still really moving and shaking, feeling good. And then the 40s creep in, you're starting to get like, and then the 50s, so like every new decade comes some new challenges, but the 30s for the most part, not for everybody, because, some people have like, chronic pain and ailments and stuff. But if you don't have that, I think the 30s are like, I still felt pretty mobile.
Well, I still think you have that ability if you,
yeah, I sort of do. Artist, that's amazing. Artist is 41 years and counting my husband and I. Married 41 years because Chell and I have been together for 15, right? Yeah.
I'm glad you said that name out loud because I wanted to say Arties, like Arties.
I used to say Arties in the beginning when Artist first came over to the Lean team. I was like, Arties? She's like, Artist. And I think Artist, correct me if I'm wrong, was it your grandmother's name?
Oh, that's cute.
It was someone's sweet's name, I believe. Julie says 40 is the new 30. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I
Chell
guess so.
is 40.
Whoa, look at me. I'm 40.
Yes, 40. You're about to be 41.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Yep. Janine wants to know, is there a housewife husband you like to watch?
You mean like the husbands?
Yeah, do you have like a favorite housewife husband?
You know who was pretty cool until I thought he was scammy? It was
Tom
Cougar,
Girardi. No, I'm just kidding.
no, Cougar Mellencamp's husband. I thought he was okay.
Oh, Edward?
Yeah,
Or
I think
Ed?
is that what his name was? He
Uh,
seemed like he seemed down to earth compared to her. So I was like, oh, he seems cool. But then he scammed Mauricio's business with like the security stuff.
Did he? I don't know if that was ever.
Well, that was
For
the
sure.
whole thing that came out, was that he had set up a security system for Mauricio and what's her
Their
face?
house or something. And
Yeah, and then
think-
it got broken into and stuff. And I was like, oh, this kind of feels scammy.
I don't remember if that was just us making assumptions as fans, or if that ever had proof behind it. But we'll go with it.
That's all I remember. And
Edwin.
that's when I turned. That's
I
when
can't
I turned.
believe
I was
you
like,
remember.
I don't like him.
I can't believe you remember him. He's like one of the least memorable houses.
Well, to me, the most regular person. So that's
Really?
why I like him. Like, I don't like PK. He's too like, he's too in it. Like, if he was if he could, he would be a housewife. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's too in it. And Mauricio, he seems too like, I don't know if the word slimy, but like he just seems too
Mauricio
slick. He seems too slick.
Yeah, he looks like a kind of guy that will watch himself masturbating in the mirror. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he really likes himself.
Yeah, just admiring. He's like, look at that belly button. So,
You're like, are you looking at you, Mauricio? Oh yeah, that's what Mauricio strikes me as. He's
one
a fan
time,
of himself.
my dad, when I lived with him when I was 13, I'd always try to outgross him, but he'd always outgross me back. Because when your dad says something, you're just like, ew, gross.
Yeah.
And one time, I think I was like, Dad, you're a jerk and you fart and stuff. And then he was all, or we were talking about the idea of masturbation came up. I don't know why. But
With your dad? That sounds like a nightmare.
And then he goes, yeah, you got to love yourself before you love others. And I was like, no. It was like kryptonite to Superman. I was just like laying on the floor, paralyzed. Like, what have I done?
No, big puppy, no.
Yeah. One time we were learning, I think it was probably like middle school. We're all like, Dad, like you're bisexual, Dad. And he's like, no, I'm polysexual. We're like, no.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he did.
Maybe
he's always quick-witted. I love that about him.
Maybe he's pan. Yeah. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. Panelist says, what lip gloss? This is Nasty Woman lip gloss. This was sent to me a while back with my Feminist Killjoy t-shirt, and I really like it. And I still have
people about the Feminist Killjoy t-shirt experience that you had at the car dealership?
I don't know if I ever did. You tell it.
So we were getting our oil change, and I finally got Joleen to come with me because usually it's just me by myself.
Yep.
And she was wearing her Feminist Killjoy t-shirt, which was, a great choice to wear to a dealership. If you're going in public, you're just like, yep, I'm not going to let them take advantage of me and my car, because there's been several instances and data shows and stats that women can take advantage of dealerships.
Yep, that has predatory behavior.
Predatory behavior. Yep. And so I'm gonna wear my Feminist Killjoy t-shirt just to let them know that they can't mess with me. And I'm gonna have my young husband next to me. And then I think a random guy, looked at Jolene's t-shirt and was all like, "Oh, Feminist Killjoy, must have a good story behind that." And Joleen just smirked, didn't say anything for what felt like forever, and just said, "No, that's my life." So if you want to know what it's like to get Joleen to run errands with you, it's a fun experience filled with lots of stories.
Stuff's always going to happen. Thank you, artist. Artist says, "Have a drink with Chow on me." That is so sweet. We will get coffee together.
Yeah, that's our favorite thing. We so this weekend you were like, "What do we talk about?" We went back to LA. And we saw our friends and we donated clothes. And I thought that was fun. But what I'm missing from LA is really good coffee. And I think when we went to visit our friend Amber, I remember saying, this is the first time I've had really good coffee in a long time.
Can I tell you that I had the opposite experience? It's no shade to the coffee place because they have really good coffee, but I didn't like mine.
Yours was with, I think it's the oat milk. It was
gritty, or
Is gritty?
it just was. It was almost tastes kind of burned.
I'm glad I didn't say the name of it, so I'm very happy about that.
No,
I think
it's a great coffee shop, but I didn't like my
the
coffee. So
coffee.
I know you
Why
were
don't
like,
you tell me? I
"Oh."
would have drank it. I
Well,
love their coffee.
I just felt bad. I drank most of it anyways.
Oh,
But
okay.
you were just like, oh, finally a good cup of coffee. And I didn't want to shit on your good coffee. So I was like, yeah, this is good.
Oh, I can't believe you compare Starbucks as like good. Like, this tastes great. I mean, that has ruined your taste buds. That is, I think, the issue.
Starbucks was great, but
You know what? I think because you drink hot coffee all the time, you've just burned your taste buds, and so I just think that that's the issue.
Nana says maybe some boba was in it.
Oh my goodness, Nana, you're gonna love boba. Nana loves boba. So if anybody could just send Nana a whole big bag of boba.
She's such a fan.
Yeah, she would put it in her coffee.
Boba is her favorite thing ever. Hey, Miss M, good to see you. So
good to see you. Hi.
Yeah.
What do you miss about LA? Do you ever talk about that?
You know what? I don't really. But like Chell said, we did go back to LA, and I did speak on it briefly. You know, that's how we spent our anniversary, which I thought was like the perfect way to spend our 10-year anniversary, which was actually Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like just feeling so helpless because it's a city we lived in for so long and we loved, and we had all these adventures and discoveries and opportunities and heartbreak and all the feelings. And I felt watching the wildfires just like so helpless, and us having so many friends and family had to evacuate, that I was like, I gotta do something, you know? So then it's like, Jill, we're going to LA and we're going to go to this donation drive and we're going to do this, that. And it was a good way. And I told Jill, I go, I think I want to do that. Like all of our anniversaries, if we could just go do something.
It doesn't have to be our anniversary. You can help out now. I mean, there's a senior center in Palm Springs that needs people to help out.
For
and
sure.
I'm just saying that because if you do choose to donate your time, you know, I think that there are options out there locally for us to do so.
Yeah. No, you're just like, you did not do enough, bitch. So there's more that you could be doing. No, but I think it was like a nice way to celebrate. But your original question is what
do you miss?
There's so much I like about not living in LA because I like the space. We
didn't ask that question. I said, what do you miss?
It's hard because sometimes I miss the magic of like anything's possible.
Like you can walk on the street and meet anybody possible?
But just like the energy that the city has itself is that it can be really sad at times. And there is like a homeless crisis going on. And it's just, there's so many things. And like the socioeconomics are, you either have it or you really don't have it. There's very few kind of, you know, in between. But there's also a magic to LA that's not just Hollywood, you know, where it isn't just like, this has been talked about a lot with the wildfires, isn't just celebrities and rich people and stuff, but there's this magic of like the ocean and the palm trees and the lights and the hills and going to Dodger Stadium. And it's just such a huge city with so many people and so many people's stories. And then at any moment, an opportunity could arise. You can meet somebody, you can, you know, make, just as a creative, you can live out dreams, whether it's just running into someone or collaborating with someone or being invited, not to any creepy thing, but you know what I mean? And then just like, not like a Diddy thing or anything, but like just kind of looking up at the hills too and seeing those homes. And then you and I, we used to always go drive down. We lived in West Hollywood. We would drive down to the PCH and,
access to the beach.
Yeah, we would go to Santa Monica a lot, but we'd also just drive to PCH, pull over, and between like Santa Monica and Malibu, just listen to the waves. Like when I was at my most anxious, when, you know, because LA can make you feel, it's crazy. It can make you feel like you're not doing enough, and then you're doing too much, but then you're not succeeding. And it just, there's so much right there, but you just can't grab it. You know what I mean? And I would get so anxious, and Chell would go, get in the car. And then we would drive down to the PCH, pull over on the side, and just listening to the waves and just remembering like this was my dream since I was a little girl, to be able to say I lived in California and I lived in LA. And then I would just be like, and then we would just listen. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. I thought your dream was to own a house with a pool in California.
Well, that too.
Oh,
But
okay.
I miss the diversity of LA. I miss I miss our friends.
Hmm.
I miss the magic, you know? I miss just driving through Mulholland.
I think it's what I miss is the coffee shops and the food. I think that there is a diverse selection of culture that inspired a lot of cuisine, and yeah, the access to the beach was amazing. I
The
love
taco
that too.
trucks.
But his feeling is like you're not doing enough, or I think that that's all. I'm not belittling your experience, but I think that that's BS, because I think as you live there, you learn more that, you know, you have to meet a lot of people because you don't know who will open a door for you. And that feeling of I'm not doing enough is always like you're doing too much, because what you're doing, it's like it feels like when you move to LA, you have to have product. And if you
Yeah.
don't have product, you're busy trying to make product so that the right people see it and enjoy it and buy it from you. And I feel like whenever there was a sense of like, because I remember like flying out of LA and just feeling like I could finally relax, because I was always doing shows or moving around, but it's never the right shows. I just think that, you know, what we do as creatives, especially if you want to move to LA to make it out there, is you put your blinders on. And I think what the pandemic helped me do was to remove those blinders, because I think those blinders just make you look at a path that's straightforward in front of you. And you're saying, well, if I keep moving forward and ignore all this other stuff that is just, needs to be addressed, that I can get to a final place. And I think that is more like ego driven, especially if you do move to LA. Because you feel like, well, there's a reason why I'm here. I have to do it. And, you know, I think that's why I was thankful for, in a sense, to reset during the pandemic, was to kind of find out what was happening, where I've pictured my life leading, and where I was like, you know, I need to make a change here. And for me, I think that change has been very positive. I feel like I'm coming to a place in my life where I'm supposed to be there, right place, right time kind of thing. And when people ask me what I miss in LA, I think that that's what I miss about LA. It was the right time and place for me, because I know for me personally, there was a lot of like self-doubt when living in Arizona, of like, I don't know if I can do anything. And now it feels like because of the choices we made in terms of entertainment and, you know, speaking on a mic, that I was able to build a little self-confidence and allow myself to put myself out there. And in this way, through school and learning. And, you know, what's really cool is I never really understood that there are a lot of creatives out in a non-creative field. And that what I really like about what I chose in terms of the career is that a lot of nurses have this great sense of humor, because I think that they experience a lot of trauma. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of comics come from trauma, and that's how they connect. And it's, to me, it's such an American thing to like make fun of stuff, especially when it's so dark. And like, it's like, you'll have to be careful, because you could just say dumb stuff in the wrong place. But it's just that I feel like that's how we process our
I feel like the
trauma.
Brits have that humor too. When we
Brits are so good at it.
overseas.
I work with an ex-Brit. I don't know, would you call him an expatriate? An
expat, or people that go from
from England to here, and his
US to England,
humor
right?
is just on point. It's so dark and I love it, but he always gets a chuckle out of me. So I think you know, again, if I think about my life, it's kind of led to right place, right time, and you know, I really enjoy that. So. But I do miss LA for when I moved there, because it was that excitement of life, right? Mm-hmm. And the experience I had at that age. But, you know, when people ask me now, I'm like, it wouldn't be the same if I moved back. It would be weird, and I feel like awkward. Like feel like, you know, when you graduate from pull-ups and you're wearing like normal underwear, and you're like, no, this is okay.
Last year,
and then you're like, I want to go back to pull-ups. You know, like it feels like a step backwards.
You feel like the old guy at the party.
Yeah.
But I don't like. I think that we say that, but I think, you know, life leads you down many weird
roads.
You could end up back there.
Yeah.
And I don't think that
Are you telling me you want to move back? I thought your dream was to have a pool.
Well, I wanna have, we have our house up here, and the next house I want our, our established backyard with our own pool, because we have our community pool.
This is all news to me. I'm very sad. No,
but then I have so many dreams. Then I also have the dream of just moving to Minnesota or Wisconsin and living in a cabin on the lake and having a boat.
Well, I think you live in a society too that you can create entertainment in any place that you move to with the power of the internet, which is
that's beautiful. What YouTube and social media has taught me a lot. But there are things I miss about LA, but I will say I don't have the same pull to be there as I once did. If you would have told me years ago that I would leave LA and I'd move back to the desert when I lived in Arizona for 6 years, and I was like, I'm never living in the desert again. But then I realized, like, there is this beauty in the desert. Is it hot as balls in the summer? And do I get sick of it? Yeah. But my whole life started, Nana, all props to Nana. Nana started my life. My life started in Minnesota technically, but like my adult life of me finding comedy, finding my husband, finding my voice, that all started in the desert. That was in Arizona. And then, we went to Minnesota for a while. Then we went to Los Angeles. And then we're back in the desert. And there's just this beauty. There's almost like this rebirth. I don't know, not to get too, crystals in my vag, but it's the desert is magical. It really is. It's a magical place. But I think sometimes I get anxiety thinking you can't roll back time and I can never live that again. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are moments I would like to relive with you in LA, and I'd like to have it feel like that again, but it's just so different now because you're on like a different path, and we're so excited for you for that. And we have all the fur babies, and I never thought we'd own a home. So it's life, man.
That's life.
That's life. But I really, as I get older, I don't need to be in a big city. I used to be like, oh my God, I cannot believe people don't live in the city. That is ridiculous. And now I'm like, put me in a cabin on the lake in like a small town and with a boat and with my dogs, and I can hang out with my family as long as I got internet access and I can be here with all of you wonderful people. That's all I need. Yeah. I don't need to be in the running every night. When people, we always like the idea of like Chell, especially of living in New York. And I think New York is a magical, wonderful city. But when I hear New Yorkers say, yeah, our spaces don't necessarily have to be that big because we're always out in the world. We're eating out.
Finish my sentence though. Is live in New York with money.
Oh, with money, yeah. with Bethany Frankel money, obviously.
Yeah, living with like 18 other comics.
Yes, because all of our friends who are comics that live out there, they live with like 18 people, and they all look miserable every time we see them. And we're like, "Are you guys okay?" But it's a magical city. But people are like, "Yeah, I'm out and about," and I don't want to be out and about that much anymore. I used to, but when I visit New York, I love being out and about. I love running around and going to different places and just like walking and just ending up places. But most of the time, how I feel is like, I don't want to be out of the house that much.
Which is why I wanted to talk to you about. I don't think.
Amy, thank you so much for the super chat. Happy Annie, just so depressed, and y'all are making me smile. Well, we hope we can continue making you smile. Ginger says, oh, you live on Lake Superior, but the desert sounds good right now. Lake Superior that's magical. Lake Superior is like an ocean. I took Chell up to Duluth, Minnesota, and
you jumped in the water in your clothes.
Well,
you were a crab person.
Well, I was being crab people, but it's cold. Like Lake Superior, the water's cold.
You put your legs in, and you were wearing shorts. But
I do love that area, but it gets really cold, and that water on Lake Superior is always cold. And then they have I don't know what it's called, like the tide. What's that? Like a rip tide? Because my brother went to college up there, and you'd always hear about people getting pulled out in the rip tides. I'm like, like the ocean. Like, damn, those Great Lakes.
I need a large body of water.
Yeah, I need a not so great lake. Just like a little
and I heard what was it? What's that? Oh man, that scientist Neil deGrasse Tyson. Is that what it is?
Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he was saying these large pools of water, like the ocean, are basically the movement is pulled by the gravity of the moon, and so it's like the water expands and de-expands because it's pulled by the gravity of the moon. It's pretty cool.
That is. It's so badass. Like the earth is badass. Chris said, real question, what time of year do you? We went to Duluth in the summer. That's when I go to Duluth. I usually
It was really rainy. Was it the summer?
Yeah, it was the summer because
it was really rainy. I remember gray clouds, and I remember getting mosquito bites over at Timber Lodge.
Oh yeah, because I took you to the Timber Lodge Steakhouse.
Yeah, not like real mosquito bites.
That's the last one, if it still exists. If I got any Duluth people, let me know. But
it was funny though because you know Duluth well enough because you were telling me that story of when your brother had to move out and your mom needed help cleaning up the boys' place.
Oh,
and so you went begrudgingly. You're like, this is so sad.
It's such a Midwestern daughter's plight that my brother and his college friends are moving out of one of their many apartments, and they call my mom. We want to get our deposit back. And I was like, I'll come up and help. Joe, come with. And I'm like, okay. My younger brother. We get there. It's a fucking disaster.
It's college boys, yeah.
But pick it up. I'm like, why are we doing this there? To get their deposit back, and then my mom's like, well, technically it's my deposit.
I think the way that boys live in college, I'm not saying all boys, but some boys, very dirty, very hoardery. I think looking back now and being like, if you ever dated a guy like that,
I did.
Like, what was I doing?
Oh my God, yes, I dated like a guy that was like allergic to cleaning. If I would leave for like go on a girls trip or leave for a couple days, I'd come home. One time my parents had to drop me off at our shared apartment, and it was like disgusting. Within days, I think I went to Dallas to visit Desi, and I came back. It was something like that. And it was like Hoarderville. And my parents were like, I'm like, no, I'm doing great. We're great. This is great. We're so great.
I will say, and this is a husband thing, the greatest feeling in the world is when your wife leaves for a trip, but only on the first day. Because then you get to do everything you haven't gotten to do that you're like man, like order a pizza.
Back off and look in the mirror like Mauricio.
Yeah, while you're eating pizza. Stay up as late as you want. You just feel like a kid again. Does that make sense? And you're able to
never once given you a bedtime.
No, but you have, even though you haven't like given a bedtime, it's essentially like, you know, you're upstairs. Like, I have to go to bed. I can't just stay downstairs. You're also going to come down and be like, Joe, what's going on down here? When are you coming to bed? And I'm like, okay.
There are so many times you go to bed before me, the majority of the time, because
because I wake up at like 5 a.m. now. Of course I have to go to bed now, but I'm saying there is the maybe it's there are the nonverbal cues of like, you need to go to bed because your wife's upstairs. And the first day that you're gone, it's like, it's a party basically. You know, you feel young again. You're like, oh, I'm gonna do everything that she doesn't like go to that one restaurant she hates, or you know, that I love, or like, you know, it's like the dog, you're getting a slice of pizza, and when it comes back up in 2 days, hopefully she's back to clean it up.
And then, but you said it's only one day you enjoy it. Then
it's only one day, and then after that, you're like, this is a lonely life. What am I doing?
It's lonely without me, babe.
Yeah, but that first day, it's like you're a kid all over again. So.
Oh, I think they were asking what time year we went to New York. I went to New York. I've never went to New York in the summer. I've only went to New York in the fall and the winter.
It's very humid in the subways.
I don't care to go in the summer. I like fall. Winter's fine with me. Spring. But when it's like hot and trash and rats.
I think hot trash and rats is all the time. You just gotta look.
No, I don't mind if I see a rat when it's chilly.
Oh, okay. Because usually they're cute. They're wearing their Patagonia.
Yeah, they're trying to get to warmth too. But in the summer, they're like, you know, they're just gassier in the summer.
I know. And then you have rat kings, which is just
told me about that, and I hate that. Oh my God. Jamie B said, leave the damn toilet seat out.
Hell yeah. Finally.
No way.
I'm gonna start doing that. See if you notice.
People said spill, Joe. Spill it. Yeah, Midwest moms at their finest. Like, let's go clean the place.
I think that if you are like in a long-term relationship and you go on a trip, I bet you on the first day, your significant other might not call you because they're having such a good time. Like, just test it out. Just see. Are they going to call me, or are they having a great time?
I do think that it's healthy to like be away from each other, because having like your own time and to just like, do whatever, like I totally get that. You know, there's no expectation.
You don't have to clean. You don't have to pick up after yourself. You
don't have to answer if you don't want to, like, what's wrong? You don't want to get out of bed? Like, no one's here to say nothing. I eat in bed, and Chell's like, he does not like eating in bed.
I hate it. There's crumbs in there. You're going to invite bugs.
No, I do not leave crumbs in bed.
You do leave crumbs in bed.
No way.
Yes, you do. Okay, I'm going to go grab the lint roller, and I'm going to do this to the sheet.
You're going
to show all the crumbs.
Something. I learned it from Nana. Nana and my dad. My dad tells the story of like, I think it might have been their wedding night. He woke up to like melted M&Ms on his back. And ever since then, hi Teddy. She's always been eating in bed. Brandy says, I am an AZ native raised by the Superstition Mountains are beautiful. So beautiful. Arizona is just gorgeous. If I had the money, I would live in Sedona. Would you live in Sedona?
Me? They have a cool art community there, but I think a lot of people of wealth have moved in, and there isn't more like a local population as much as it's people who can afford to live there now. And even this was interesting, in Sedona they tried to pass legislation that like people who worked at like Whole Foods and stuff could stay at like a parking lot to sleep in their cars.
What?
Because a lot of people like drive from further away in order to work there, whether it's like 30 or 40 minutes away. But
to work in Sedona?
Yeah, because it's like the houses in Sedona, there's not a lot of like low portals of entry in terms of rent, you know, because a lot of older people want to live there and move there. They love desert vibes, older people do. So.
Oh my gosh. So they were trying to pass legislation where they wouldn't get in trouble for sleeping in their car?
Yeah. So it's just essentially allowing people to sleep in their car if they're like working there and stuff like that. All right, Sedona. That's
crazy. Let's see. Witness says, Nana says, witness, when Jolene started seeing Chell, I asked her if they were getting serious. She said, no, Mom, we're just friends. She thought I was going to buy this. Chell, we thought we got away with it when you met my parents for the first time. We just claimed we were friends. I was like,
we never got away with it. Your mom knew right away. I mean, you were like, I'm gonna go say bye to my friend, and then you were gone for like 6 hours.
I was not. We're doing smoochies.
Oh my god! I'm pretty sure they thought I was a murderer. You've gone so long, and then when you walked in the door, you're like, I just dialed 911, and I was about to hit the other one. I'm glad you're back.
Yeah, we tried to pull one over on Nana, and I was like. They were with me in Arizona. I was like, can my friend come with us to Thanksgiving dinner? But then I also had two other friends who were really my friends who joined us as well. But they were like, but what's this guy's story? I'm like, oh, he's just my friend. He's another comedian, like just a friend. A secret smoochy friend. Yeah.
So this was late last year. It was rejected. But it was Sedona voters appear to have rejected a proposition that would have allowed individuals to sleep in their cars at a local park. And earlier this year, the city council approved a temporary program to permit local workers to park overnight at Western Gateway Cultural Park. A lack of affordable housing in the region of Arizona prompted city officials to find temporary solution until more housing units could be constructed. And the ones that will be constructed won't be for, affordable housing.
Here's a novel idea. How about just lower the cost of the housing right now? Rent control, other things that they could do that's not going to take a million years. That's crazy.
Essentially, it was just to allow workers to have access to a place to stay if they were going to work in Sedona.
But like, what a shit! Like, okay, we will let you sleep in your car in our park.
So you can open up the Circle K on time.
It's like, yeah. How about just making it livable? Yeah. How about it's just like the stuff we do is crazy.
Yeah, but I think just like all locations. I mean, if someone likes it enough, they're going to start building homes, and more homes come. They're going to be more expensive than the last. So.
Yeah. The archive says no homeless allowed near the rich. Go figure. That was always the case living in Hollywood. They would always push all the homeless encampments toward East Hollywood, because like West Hollywood, you're heading closer to the ocean, then you're hitting, Beverly Hills, and you're going to hit Santa Monica. And so, and, obviously Santa Monica, anywhere you're near a beach has, a big homeless population. But when they would get too close to like a Trader Joe's or a Whole Foods or something, they were like, okay, push them east of La Brea, and they would pick up and like move these camps, but just move them out rather than, it's crazy that I don't even know how they're ever going to get that under control.
Well, I think the issue that Sedona is experiencing is like, if you have all these rich people, you're going to need workers. So eventually something's going to happen where there's not going to be workers at like your favorite stores, because you're not allowing a population that works for a living to come in and enjoy the place. My biggest fear in life, I'll be honest with you, death happens, whatever. But like, if in our lifetime they start building houses within like Yosemite Park, like I would be so bummed
if they start selling off our national parks and rich people are able to build homes, and that'll be horrible.
Well, I know. So what's exciting about me as a nurse is the ability to travel, because I think it'd be fun if me and you picked up and lived somewhere for like 6 months and then come back. But I was looking at Mammoth Lakes, which is right near Yosemite. It has a hospital, and they hire travelers at times. But it's similar to Sedona, where it's like a ski people town. So a lot of the housing is very expensive due to the fact that it's a destination for people to come.
You have to be rich. Like that's a sport where like you can't be poor and ski. Like it's very expensive.
Yeah. So to me, super sad, but I would hate that if that happened in our lifetime.
I know.
It'd be so sucky.
Tracy says, hi from Vancouver. We're screwed too. Welcome to the screw party, Tracy 1010.
We're all screwed.
Yeah, I know. Missy says, just rent alone. Yes, our friends in LA who are just have like 1-bedroom apartments.
They're paying as much close to us in mortgage rent
that we pay in a mortgage. They're paying for rent for our 3-bedroom house with a backyard. They have a 1-bedroom apartment in an old building. It's beautiful, and it's in the city and stuff, but still it's criminal the amount they're charging people in rent. It is like, it's crazy. But in LA, people are like, isn't this a good deal? And I'm thinking, no, that's my mortgage. That's like you're not seeing any of that. They're ripping you off.
But I think it's a good deal because in terms of location is what is expensive in a bigger city, because it's like you're central. I mean, that makes everything so much easier if you're.
Yeah, but we know some of those locations aren't worth that amount. It seems very arbitrary them. And now what we're seeing is they're reporting, price gouging for rentals and people that have been displaced due to the wildfires, which is what we saw during the Panakukan too, is the price gouging on products, and people who were, hoarding, buying up all the hand sanitizers, and then like price gouging and selling them back. It's like, ooh, that is the worst of capitalism. Like that is so gross. Or like toilet paper or things that people need. And now with this price gouging, I'm so happy people are outing people that are doing that. But it's like, there should be some kind of protections. There should be some kind of regulation where in times of natural disasters and crisis, people aren't allowed to do that.
I think that there is protections because I think people are putting a light to corruption. By posting this Excel sheet. I think I was listening to NPR where this Excel sheet is tracking the prices of rent through Zillow, right? They're using Zillow to be like what it was before and what it was now.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it's a certain percentage, which I think is 10% more, then it's price gouging. But if it's never been on the market before, then they're allowed to put it at any price they want, which is crazy.
It's crazy when they pull up the Zillows and you can see what they just rented it or sold the place for within the past year or so.
And I'm
how
sure
it's
Zillow
doubled.
was like, "That's not what it's for. Stop it. Turn it off.
Yeah. Don't
Stop
look.
using it for the benefit of the people."
Don't look at the great and all powerful eyes. No, don't push the curtain back.
Yeah, that's what happened with. You ever hear about Robinhood? Robinhood is that trading app on your phone. People could like trade stocks on their phone. And during the GameStop super call bets, they turned off their trading for that because they were receiving so many bets. And it found out that there was a connection between the CEO of Robinhood and Wall Street. So basically, people were betting that GameStop was going to fail. People were buying stock, meaning it wasn't going to fail. And so then these people were going to lose a lot of money because you're saying it's going to fail and it's actually succeeding. And so they basically shut it off to prevent any type of mass financial damages to their Wall Street partners. Yeah.
It's just
crazy,
like,
right?
Eat the rich just sounds more appetizing every day.
Yeah. And what's funny is like, you're so sweet. Like, you know how I just watch trailers on Amazon Prime and I'll build my list.
You love doing that.
Remember yesterday I was like, I turned on a trailer and it was all like, this government is doing this to your phone and you can't stop it. And I was like, I'll watch that later. And you're like, I knew you were going to add that to your list.
Yes, any kind of documentary where like they're watching us, Chal's like, that's in the queue. In the queue. I was trying to get him to watch Saltburn and I had him watch the trailer for that. And he's like, doesn't really do it.
It didn't look good. It didn't look like I would like it. It's like an estranged rich kid goes to his new friend's rich home. It doesn't relate to me at all. And it doesn't sound like, and their relationships are crazy. It doesn't,
you would like
I don't want to look at that. I understand that it's all about human relationships, but like, it just doesn't appeal to me because they're just in a higher frame of living. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not.
Because you're just watching wealthy people, you think?
Yeah. It just
feels how about this? How about I sell it this?
Okay. I'm ready. Okay. Sell me. I'm on an elevator with you. You have a 30-second pitch.
Pitch.
I have a meeting with Walt Disney in a half hour. You better hurry.
Okay. Wow. He's defrosting quickly. Okay. So here's the deal. I can't give away all the spoilers of the film, right? But there's be twists and turns, handcuffs, smack the booty up with my belt. But you're also going to have dancing naked dong, full on dong dancing. Dong.
That's how you want me to watch it, to watch dong dance?
I'm trying to sell it to you.
That doesn't. Are you trying to make me? Am I attracted to dongs? No.
Well, I just we don't get to see them a lot.
I like how you sell to me, but it's all like about dongs. Like it's about the story. It's about
dong. It's
like I'm gonna be like, you know what, Joe? You're right. I like a dong. Yeah, I'll check it out now. Yeah, you're right.
Sorry, I thought I was talking to Jamie B. But really, I feel like there aren't enough penises in movies. We see boobs, we see lady gardens, baby doors, but we never see full dong.
You see a lot of full dong.
Not any movies. Name 10 movies that aren't porn that are full dong.
Full dong?
Where we see full dong. Feel free to sound off in the chat because I can't name 10 full dong movies.
Look,
Nana knows.
I am a heterosexual male, so I can't tell you the movies where there's full dong. But I can tell you the movies where there was like boobs and bush. Like I can tell you that.
Just because you're heterosexual, you're like, I don't see the wieners.
No, it's not that. I just don't remember that. But I remember like a pair of boobs in a movie, you know, because we were all like 12.
Boobs are everywhere because there's always boobs. Boobs are always shown.
And so penises are shown too.
No, it's very rare where we see a full dong. And like Ginger saying, full dongs matter. Missy says, I'm a corrections nurse, and the amount of homeless people that come, they do small crimes just to come and eat and get, Then
they do that at the hospital, and then you got to kick them out, and it's like kind of sad, but you're like, all right, you got to go. And I never thought in my life I'd be like wheelchairing a guy out of the ED that, you know, was like homeless.
I know.
Yeah. But I mean, essentially, there are laws in place that state that, you know, you can go to any emergency room department and they must give you care. And that's part of it. But a lot of homeless people are knowledgeable in the fact that if they say certain phrases, that they can stay there and get some food and get some rest for a little bit before they have to go.
Yeah.
And if you're medically cleared, you have to go. But if you're psychiatric hold, you have to go to a different place. So.
But yeah, I mean, I don't blame people for being like, yeah, I want to go somewhere, be able to have a shower, have some food, be kind of taken care of.
We don't shower people in the ED, so it doesn't work like that.
Well, like sometimes you have to don't you have to bathe them though?
No, not a homeless guy.
Oh, okay.
Not in the ED. They don't do that in the ED.
Oh, not an ED. Okay.
ED is like you get your baseline. If you're admitted, you go on the floor. That's where they do it. And if you're psychiatric hold, you go somewhere else. That's where they do it. No one gets like a shower or a bath in the ED.
Yeah. We need to have not more bathhouses, but I think that has a different meaning.
Well, I think an issue that you have there too is if you might have. So a lot of medical professionals are females, and there is the SA portion of working in the healthcare field. So I think a lot of people are very careful.
And like harassment, yeah, like women can be harassed by.
Oh yeah, I was reading a nursing
when men
board.
are sick, they find a way.
And I was reading a nursing board, and some guy faked a seizure in order to harass a nurse. So it's just like a weird world.
And again, that's why we choose the bear. Now, when you heard that whole like women choose the bear, were you like, that makes sense, or were you surprised?
No, you've always chose the bear from the beginning. You even let me know. You're like, I like bears, and I like that show where that guy died to bears. So.
Grizzly Man. That's a documentary I got down with. Timothy Treadwell, after 13 summers in the Alaskan outback, he got mauled by a bear. But he only got, well, I mean, he was living among the bears, but they were the hungry ones that didn't put on their winter weight. And
well, the show we're watching now, which is The Pit, is very excellent.
So good, you guys. We're watching this new show.
Noah Wiley, which is your.
There is a new medical show on what do we watch it on? Peacock?
Max. It's on Max.
It's on Max, and it's called The Pit. And Chell was like, "Oh, there's a new medical show, and it's about the ER and stuff." And it was Noah Wiley from ER in the 90s. I was like, "Oh my God, Hottie Patati Noah Wiley." I was nervous he disappeared forever, and he's back, and he looks great, and the actors are really good. And how many episodes are we in?
We're 2. We got to watch the third one tonight
because they drop.
It comes out every Thursday.
Yes, and we were so excited about that show. I'm loving it. Okay, but before we get into that, Chris, I gotta say, people say Gone Girl, Ben Affleck. Do we see full dong, full on helicopter, the full Monty?
See?
Okay. Any Given Sunday, that movie with Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz has the best dong movie I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen.
See, Jamie B.
The Cooler, William J. Macy. Dang, Christina knows the full dong. Christina had pulled up her spread list.
All these people who are attracted to men will remember movies with full dong, and me, who's attracted to women, will remember shows with boobs. It's just
I watch
what it is.
HBO for the dong. Now, how about probably in that show that had David Duchovny back in the day, Californication? I bet you saw full dong.
You know who had dong? What's it called? The House of Dragon. In the beginning, before it was a show about drama, they were like showing either dong or boobs every episode in the first season to get people excited.
Oh,
yeah.
Remember
Boogie Nights, the big dong? Yeah.
But do you remember people were like, was that real or was that fake? There was like speculation about, was that a prosthetic dong?
I think that's, if I'm an actor and you're talking about whether my dong is real or fake, that's great for me because you're always talking about me, right? Like, oh, great. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Veronique says Insects and Butterflies, a Brit movie. Lots of dong.
You're funny though, because we were watching The Pit and you're like, oh, great. They're showing their vagina. Great. Just great, just like every show. I'm like, that's not even vagina, it's just bush. It's like
I know, but like show more man stuff. Like I feel like women's bodies are just thrown out there, but like the dong
guy who crushed his face, they showed his dong.
We saw a little bit.
Because that's what happens in the ED. They cut your pants off.
I know, but
that's why you always wash yourself before you leave.
That's why our moms are always like, wear clean underwear.
Yep. Because you never know when they're gonna pull you into the ED for something.
But if I'm in an accident, I'm probably going to crap myself. Like I'm probably going to be so scared and nervous.
Yeah.
There might be an accident. Kat says, I'm late to the party, so behind everyone else. Just wanted to say the pool house bill thing is so funny. It cracks me up every time. Well done, Chell. Well done. The bear. Yeah, the bear. Choosing the bear. Da Bears. Allie says, I was once on ketamine in the ER, and I felt so bad for one of the doctors because I kept seeing the hormone monster from Big Mouth. Allie, how did you just end up in the ER because you're on ketamine, or something else happened and you just happened to be on ketamine? Like, oh, I broke my arm, but I was on ketamine.
One time in the ED, it was like pool party summer out here, and this girl, she was like passed out. She was an MTF, which is metabolized to freedom. She was just so drunk, and her friends brought her in, and she basically puked on herself. But like when she was leaving, I think she was feeling herself still, and she's like, there's like all this crusty
Coachella,
puke. Yeah,
like
all this crusty puke right here, just like bye. I was like,
I was never there in my 20s. Oh my gosh, like. Peace, guys. Thanks for helping me. I'm gonna Poor sweetie. God. Oh my gosh. Reddit has lists. Allie says, Bubko says, the only thing good about Gone Girl is you see Ben Affleck's junk for a few seconds. I forgot about it.
See, there are dong movies. Don't be throwing out this narrative that it's only about boobs when there's plenty of examples of dongs.
No, there's more
in the real world.
Examples of boobs and vag than dongers.
I'd say more examples of boobs, yes, but not vag. Vag is very like faux pas.
Well, you're not going to see. Do you remember in what was the movie with Katherine Heigl? Judd Apatow?
Schindler's List, dong. Schindler's List.
No, not Schindler's List, but
They showed dong in Schindler's List.
Okay, I thought that's what you thought the movie I was talking to about with Katherine Heigl and Judd Apatow that he created. No, the movie where she has the baby.
Yeah.
With Seth Rogen. Knocked Up. Do you remember that scene? Where they showed like a crowning?
Yeah.
That was the most pristine baby door vagina. That had to be not real. That had to be AI or something, or After Effects.
It was a prosthetic.
They made it. I was like, is that how it looks? And it's not how.
No. There's a story at the hospital that this lady came in for delivery and she had eaten McDonald's, and all of a sudden they had to induce her because like a few hours later. And when you have a baby, you could pass some stool.
Oh, like
apparently the doctor was helping her and she had passed what she ate, and the doctor said, "What did you eat?"
Oh no, you're like, no judgment, doctor. How dare you? Because there are lots of things that women are told to eat to induce. Like
I didn't know about that. What are you supposed to eat to induce?
I heard eggplant parmesan.
No, really?
I think you ask women in the chat. I bet you they'll come up with a whole.
That's why I'm asking you for a list of foods.
The only thing I know is eggplant parmesan because Lindsay Hubbard said it in an interview recently. But I've heard of other foods. I just can't think of them. It's okay, Dave. You okay?
You can let him out. He can come over here.
Okay, you want to go over with Dad? Why don't you stay with me?
Maybe he wants to go to the bathroom.
But there are lots of foods. So the guy's like, "What did you eat?" Well, maybe she had Mickey D's.
It wasn't a guy, doctor. Don't do that to us. Don't assume. Don't assume. I think that it was, or I should say, probably she was more comfortable with saying that because
so it was like a joke.
Yeah.
Like, girl, what did you eat?
No,
did the woman get offended?
I don't know. It's just a story I overheard, and it's not something that I heard like, oh, she sued the hospital or anything.
Oh, you just heard it. It's like a story.
Yeah, it's like a story.
Twisted Life said Julianne Moore shows Bush. I love Julianne Moore.
Yeah, of course. What was that movie? The Rug. It fits the room, man.
The Big Lebowski.
She showed her Bush in that. Mm-hmm. That was Julianne Moore, the artist, right?
Yeah.
She was like naked painting.
Yeah, she was. Yep. Yeah.
Shoot, if I had a hot bod, I'd be like, yeah, show me. Whatever. Let's go. Yeah, that's I'm Marcio. Like. I do it. I check out in here.
Remember when
show me on camera
that doctor's office in West Hollywood above a 7-Eleven, and it was like
the Russian one.
Doctors.
Yeah.
Because West Hollywood is a big like Russian neighborhood, and so like all of your providers are going to be Russian and stuff. And I thought it was maybe like just a cultural thing that they tend to be. Well, I went to this doctor's office.
Forward. They tend to be forward.
Well, forward, and then also like they were just like, take your top off. And I'm like, I'm sorry, do you have a gown? They didn't have a gown. I got heart, like they were testing. I got those things for my
It
heart.
was behind the Slurpee machine, right? At the 7-Eleven.
Pretty much behind the hot dog machine. But when I first went up there just asking questions before I did the heart thing, they didn't give me a gown. So I'm just sitting up there with my tits out and the door's open. And I was like, can you close the door? And she was like, oh, don't be so shy, honey. Like, don't be so shy. The lady doctor said, and there was a guy on a flip phone, like an old Russian guy walking across talking, just like having a conversation, and my boobs are out, you know, and then, I don't think they ever gave me a gown. It was just an experience where they were like, telling me that why don't I have kids yet? I'm probably never going to be famous. It happens to very, very, very few people. The rest, nothing. And it was a whole thing. And I came home and I'm like, I don't know what just happened, Chow. And he said, you're probably on like a Russian porn site. And at the time I was like, oh my God. Or like one of those, like, and now I'm thinking, obviously horrible, but I looked really good then. Like I looked at my thinnest.
You want me to pull up the video? I found it and I've been saving it.
Above a 7-Eleven, Midwestern Milky Ranch girl with her tots out talking about her medical history. I'm like, why do we have to?
I always have to be careful what I say to you because I think, sometimes your mind runs away with it. And so I'm always careful on what I say to you. And I'm sorry that I said that it was probably on a Russian porn site. I apologize for that.
Well, we're comedians, so we say stuff.
I know, but even if I'm saying something funny, I mean, sometimes you run away with those thoughts.
Well, I accept your apology. And we just joke about it often. I mean, I don't know what that was all about. I also think I went to a Russian dentist and I was in some kind of insurance fraudulent scam. They were sending me checks to cat. I was just like, what is going on here? And then I stopped going and the dentist.
I wouldn't remit that on a recorded.
Well, I didn't do anything wrong.
That's one of those things you keep in the inside.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Law-wise, you did do something wrong by not speaking up.
I didn't. Okay. Don't arrest me.
It's like, let's say a nurse witnesses another nurse do something and they don't report it. You're liable as well. So.
All right. Well, don't arrest me. Look into them. But the dentist also smoked cigarettes.
Talking about.
And then when she dug in my mouth, I stopped.
Did it taste like cigarettes when she dug in your mouth?
Remember, that's why I didn't finish my Invisalign.
Ew.
Because I
thought you did finish it, but it was like you.
No, I never finished it because it was through them. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure they have me in an insurance fraud and they're putting their dirty hands in my mouth. And I don't know if I was like, what is going on?
I think something you could have worked on back in the past is if you didn't like something, you didn't Midwest it and you're like, this is fine. She's putting the smoky fingers in my. You would have just stopped after the first one and been like, I'm just gonna find somewhere new.
It's also like, I think I'm just, feel free to correct me, women in the chat, but I think that's a thing with women too, is that, speaking up, it's kind of like picking and choosing through your life because you don't always have the best outcome when you speak up. And we're used to.
You don't even have to speak up. You just don't show up anymore.
Up, but
I'm so
that's also
bothered by it's Midwestern. It's not a woman thing. Like
it could be a woman thing.
It would be like more of like, I'm not going to show up anymore. But like,
remember that dentist we had out here who was like touchy feely?
Yeah, the guy who's like, I can solve all teeth problems. He's still there. You go there still.
Why is he touching me? But I asked for another dentist.
Yeah. And it's like, we could stop going there, but you're like, nah.
I love my hygienist as a woman.
I like the hygienist.
I just don't see him anymore.
I just think that, in the past, I'm not saying now, Sean, that if there's something that we could have worked on, it's like not having to be uncomfortable in order to keep moving forward. Like,
well, that's what you told me too. Once you started going to school in healthcare, you started telling me like, here's your rights and you have the right to say, I do not want to be in this situation. You were telling me you have the right to ask for a different provider. You have the right to, but I think when you're in those positions with medical professionals and stuff, sometimes there's like a freeze response where I'm just like, you're thinking like, am I being ridiculous?
Oh yeah. It's so true. I was telling a nurse about this.
Because you trust.
They're like, why don't people ask questions? And I'm like, it's pretty hard to ask a question because it's like such a vulnerable place you're in. All these doctors are like, all right, do you have any questions? And you're like, oh, I don't know. And they're like, okay, well, turn around and let me look at your butthole. And you're just like, well, I got no questions now.
Well, seriously, because that's why I think some of these bad doctors and stuff get away with these things, because we don't really, you're not sure. You trust that the doctor, you were raised to kind of trust that these doctors are going to do right by you.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't learn a lot about advocacy for ourselves. I don't remember that ever being a thing where you growing up being like, make sure you ask the doctor questions and know your boundaries. It was kind of like you go to the doctor
that is a
and you
societal
trust them.
issue. That's a societal issue, because what we do is we lock up. We put away all of our sick people into a place where it doesn't exist. Don't look in here. You're not allowed to come in here unless you have like a security guard, or like, let's say they're old or suffering through dementia, Alzheimer's. Go into this building. You're never going to go out. Like, it's something that is just not seen in society. And I think that ultimately, unless you have someone working in the medical field, you're never going to have someone advocate for you in the right way, because you don't know how to advocate for yourself. What's up, bud?
Dave, I love how vocal Dave is.
And that's why I feel like, you're supposed to have your rights. You're always supposed to have a sense of autonomy, which is people should educate you on your best possible choices, and you have to make the choice as a patient, because as a nurse, what I'm learning is that we have to respect all people for their critical thinking skills and their decisions made for these situations. So I think, to go back to the point, is like, I think it's a societal issue, because we don't really see a lot of sick people. A lot of sick people stay home or they're in the hospital. And it's not something that we even think about until we're in that situation.
Yeah. And I think it's something that we should start, if parents don't already do this. If you do, awesome. But even teach kids, like, to question and know that, with their boundaries, it's not just good touch, bad touch. But if you feel like you're in a bad situation, even in like a medical situation, to speak up. But also, I mean, when you're that young, you have the parents hopefully going in with the kids. But I just looked at doctors as as like an authority and as a trusted source, I guess, which is unfortunately where a lot of these predators, they get into positions like that, teachers, coaches, doctors, where they have that kind of power. But I think it is important to remind people, whether they are young or, my age, that you do have the power to, advocate for yourself, because I'm very good at like advocating for Nana when she's had medical stuff. And I feel like she was getting mistreated. I'm like, whoa, that's my mom. But when it's myself, I'm like, I've gotten better, but yeah. So I agree. I think it's a societal thing. And I think it's something we should teach people. There's so many things, like, let's go back to teaching people civics. Let's go back to teaching people that they can set their own boundaries, that they should advocate them for themselves. Let's teach people about fucking what it's like to, bills and a home and all the like practical things too,
Yeah.
in society that that we never learned, I guess, but I'm getting off topic.
Yes. And there are societal problems, and you brought up another one, which is the education system and what we're being taught. But I would like to rest my opinion on, like, if you're not illiterate in health, you will be. And the sooner that you learn about these situations or what your rights are, the better. We all are going to come into health issues, whether that is old age or some type of accident, we will all come across this, and we will all be in that situation. That being said, you have rights that when you're first put in that situation, you may not know about, but as you are in the system longer and longer, you have a better idea of how it works. So the more you become knowledgeable on it sooner, the better for you. And I think the most basic thing, like, if you know nothing about it, the most basic thing that I could share with you is you're allowed to choose who your providers are, in terms of, like, let's say you're a male and you want only males to help you out, then that is a possibility, but you have to speak up and you have to let other people know. but we are also in a nursing shortage where that might not be possible at all times. And so you might put yourself at risk for infection because you're not willing to accept the help that others are willing to give to.
That is available, because sometimes you're not going to find the doctor. But I think that's good advice. And I think the overall thing that you were talking about and you and I talk about is how we, especially, I don't know if it's just like, I think it's, we've talked about on this channel before, where it's like a more of a Western thing, you know, in the US, where we are, we hide the old, we hide the sick, we don't want to see it, we don't advocate for grow and don't appreciate that and don't celebrate aging. We're more like, ew, yuck, I'll never be there. But we're all heading there. We're not heading back to being young again. We're all heading toward aging. Don't write in the comments to Nana. No, that especially we will protect Nana. Peaches says, had my kid's nurse ask him to do Pledge of Allegiance. What? And he's like, no. And nurse goes, that's what's wrong with America. A nurse wanted your kid to do the Pledge of Allegiance?
I would escalate that to House Soup or the charge.
Hopefully you're able to report that, like Chel's saying, because that is very inappropriate. That has nothing to do with his health. I don't understand. Is the school nurse is like, I'm only going to help you if you did your Pledge of Allegiance today. DGF said, Chell reminds me of my niece, an RN MSN. She wants to improve everything and watch the science stuff for fun. I did get to watch you did get her to watch The Traders. I haven't gotten Chell to watch The Traders yet. But are you going to, Chell?
I think I will. I'd like to watch a show with you. And I know right now we're watching The Pit. So I think after maybe on Sunday, I have a couple, like an hour, I'll probably watch to get caught up with you.
Hell yeah.
Watch with you.
Right? Ageism is all offensive. Not no offense, all offense. It's all offensive.
Yeah, I was telling someone the other day that old age is horrible. It just rips everything you love away from you slowly.
Fun with Lursa says, do you know why I have to sign a form when I go to my gyno who has a male nurse that I would like a female nurse?
Do I know why you would like that? No, I think that's all their policy at that place. And I think, again, maybe that has to deal with more of going back to, like, you can ask for these things, but with the nursing shortages, that may not be available.
So it also miss like some kind of treatment you need.
Yeah,
maybe.
Because you can't get it scheduled at a certain time. It also could be something to keep to your file. And if you did sign that, I would read it. And then also, if you ever put in a situation with a male nurse, I'd take a photo of that. And then you can always talk to whoever's in charge at the office, because it's like, if you're signing something like that, specifically that you only want female nurses, I think it's maybe like it just depends on the facility, but it could be like just for something to keep in their records. You can always say, like, especially if they're saying like you get a procedure, to make sure that it is all female nurses, and then you sign something about that. You always have to. The problem with like healthcare in general, I think I shouldn't say that. One of the issues that I see in nursing is that because it's a transfer of nurses every 12 hours, some things might be missed. And so therefore, as long as you're aware as a patient of the situation, or you're the family member that's aware of your of loved one, then things can all move forward, because we all have to work together as a team. These nurses are taking care of 4 or 5 people at a time, and it can be difficult because you're also managing management and doctors. So if you are in the hospital, don't be a passerby, be active in your healthcare choices and your care. And it's as simple as, like, let's say the nurse says, you have an echocardiogram and you're waiting at the hospital, just be like, hey, have you heard back about the echo? I just wanted to tell my family, in a nice way of like, hey, I just wanted to know, because she might have, when she left your room, she might have entered a code brown or like a code blue and just totally like forgot about it. So it's just, you have to be a part of the team in those situations. And that's why they do bedside handoffs, which is like when the nurse is talking to the other nurse that's about to take over, because they want you to be aware and educated on what's happening. But when you're not a nurse or a medical professional in that situation, you don't know what they're talking about sometimes. And it's called an SBAR, which stands for Situation Background Assessment and Recommendation. They talk about why you entered the hospital, your background being your personal medical history, their own personal assessment, which is like what they noticed in that shift or what has changed. Like they might say hypokalemic, or they might say low potassium. So that just means that the recommendations they might make or that the doctor is going to work on is to up your potassium. And potassium is important because it deals with a lot of the conductivity of your heart. So I just threw a lot of information. I'm so sorry.
Whoa.
Yeah, but it's so funny.
I'm just thinking about bananas. When you say potassium, my mind goes to, I want a banana.
But like, that's the hard part is like, I think being well educated in these situations is you just have to be a participant, and you're never on the bench like if you think of it as a sports thing in healthcare, you're never on the bench, you're always on the court. And if you're on the court, you have to make passes, assists, and sometimes you have to speak up for yourself. You have to shoot the shot. So I think if you look at it that way, you'll be more inclined of what's happening and what situations are about to happen. And you'll also help the nurse, a keyword help, don't boss her around or him, to remind them of important things that are happening. Because I know it gets frustrating once you're in the hospital because you're basically stuck there. Time feels like it's frozen and you can't really make decisions that you're used to making outside of that position. And if you're more working together as a team, I think you'll get out of there faster.
Yeah. I think it's hard. It's hard because if you are in the situation, if you're in the hospital, like where you work, most of the people there are in pain. They don't want to be there. So you're not on, you're not at your best of communication, all the things. Missy says, I have learned how uncomfortable men are with female nurses, sometimes, especially in the older population. Yeah. Just as much as we women. I mean, when you were talking about in the chat, how you just want female nurses, especially at the gyno. That's how I am. I never deal with men at the gynecologist. I'm never going to have a male gynecologist. That's just how I am. That's my preference.
What if I become a gynecologist?
Definitely not you. No, you can be my gynecologist. But there might be like a conflict of interest. I don't want you to get, all distracted.
I'm gonna order you some stuff. Just so you know, no, just just making like claims.
I am 100%. I think I've always asked for women, and I've never had to sign anything. So, like Missy was saying in the chat, it could have to do, and kind of what Chell hinted at, some kind of liability, alleviating some liability on their behalf.
Yeah, just read it and take a picture of it with your phone because you never know.
Yes, keep records.
I lost it.
Yes.
Okay, here it is.
Em says, my chart is the best thing ever. You get results in real time. I do like my chart.
I like my chart. Yeah.
Yeah, like when you go to the doctor, you can find all your the full like description of your visit.
To pee. I'll be right back.
Okay, of your visit, of blood work, all that stuff. I think that is an ingenious tool, and that is very, very helpful. Speaking of bananas, because we were talking about dongs, DGF said, I learned to use all of my senses when entering a hospital room for anything unusual. Yep. Patty says, you're so right, Chell. I don't know if I already read this. Being involved in asking questions is key. Yes. DGF says, I feel like we're studying with Nurse Chell. It's exciting. He's so immersed in it. So like he'll talk to me about this stuff, but my mind goes immediately to like making a joke about something. I get very interested, especially when we're watching this new show, The Pit, with Noah Wiley. Check it out if you haven't. The episode 3, I think, dropped last night. It's literally so good. Very, very a little reminiscent of ER, back Noah Wiley's original doctor show, but grittier and more nudity, I will say, than the original ER, which was it was good, but I think it had more of a soap opera element than this show did. But when we watch that show together, I'll ask Chell, like he has to pause a lot. I'm like, what does that mean? What is that? Are they correct on that? And with his learning, like sometimes he's like, yes, he knows. And then sometimes he's like, I'm not even sure. I haven't, learned that yet. So it's pretty fun. Allie says, I create my own physical chart with important documents related to my medical health. That's super smart, Allie. That's a really smart thing to do. Janine says, I'm the same way. I request a female doctor. I just prefer female doctors. No offense to male doctors. Not that I won't see a male doctor if I'm in a hospital or something like that. But I would prefer the same way. I would love to find a good woman dentist, or just a woman dentist. I just know she's going to be good. But at the dental office we go, I have my hygienist who I love, who you see the majority of the time anyway. And they don't have any women. And I'm like, come on, Shirley. Oh, you've seen The Pit? I love The Pit as a social worker. Yes, because there's a social worker in that series. And I totally forgot. My sister-in-law works in social work, and I forgot that in the hospital, obviously, there's like social workers, and their presence there is so important because my sister-in-law's worked in a bunch of places, and now she works in a retirement home type situation. And social workers are just angels and so needed. Allie says, I once stayed at the hospital that reminded me of Return to Oz, squeaky beds to boot. I signed myself out as soon as I could get out, 5:45 a.m. Oh, I don't blame you. The archive says Nurse Jackie was my favorite. I never watched Nurse Jackie, but I really love Edie Falco. And I loved the premise of it because she was like a drug addicted nurse, right? But I just never, I don't know why I didn't watch that show. Maybe I should go back for to watch it now, all these years later. Allie says, I allow teaching hospitals to have male staff, but I want a female in the room. Yes, female in the room at all times. If it's anything at like the gynecologist or any kind of girl doctor, I don't usually let any teaching. Maybe if it was just women, but any kind of men present in that situation, I'm not comfortable with. I'm just not. And that's just how it is for me. You have a woman dentist. I'm so jealous, Kira. I had a woman dentist once upon a time. And I'm like, where are they? Cami says, have I watched Landman? No. What's Landman about? I feel like I've heard of that. You use an all-female gyno. I went to a place when I lived in Scottsdale, Arizona. I had a wonderful gynecologist, and it was an all-female place in Scottsdale. And I forgot what it was called, but God, do women get it right when it comes to the lady doctor. They had the softest, best, not paper gowns. They had real robes. Everything was like, smelled like lavender. They had little socks for you there. It was so nice. And I had never heard of something like this in my life until I went there. And everyone who worked there was a woman. All the doctors were women. It was cute inside. The rooms were comfortable. They were nicely decorated. You got, like I said, real robes, socks. It was a joy. And what woman says it's a joy going to get a pap smear or going to a gynecologist? That we just don't say that, It was freaking lovely. I don't know if it was called Woman for Woman. But it was in Scottsdale, Arizona. We're talking about my favorite gynecologist I ever had in Scottsdale, Arizona, in the office that I had. And there, Julie XO said, why would a man specialize in gynecology? Chell?
Maybe it's just like he's so enthralled by it, he wants to know it.
What?
Why do people study animals? Why do people study fish? They just love it so much.
Yeah, but if I would never be like, what are dick doctors called?
Urologist, probably.
Is that?
It like encompasses your urinary tract, but also like.
But you could see a urologist as a woman.
Yeah, because women have.
Are there any doctors that are just specifically for the dong? Like
I'm
dong
gonna look
doctor?
it up.
All right, Chel's gonna look it up.
Doctor called. A urologist. It's a urologist.
Okay.
They encompass like both. But I think that the health of a woman is so important that it does require a specialized field because, you are a conduit for creating other people. And the health of female anatomy is important so that conduit never becomes, is always taken care of. So
Poor Teddy is so itchy back there.
He just ate. He's fine. He's licking his. He's being a urologist. He's licking his.
Oh, Daddy, you're so
Hey,
cute.
another movie where there's dong. There you go.
It's time for another bath. Bubko says, I'm gay. And growing up, the town doctor was so hot, all the moms drooled over him, LOL. And he lived right across the street from us. Talk about awkward when going for your physical. Was he hot, though? Like,
Your mom probably made you sick on purpose just so you could go.
what is that called when the parents...
Drink the soup with the bleach. Drink it, Bubko.
We got to go see Dr. Hot Stop. You know,
Now, when you go in there, you tell him you caught it from me.
One of the few movies I ever walked out of in my lifetime was Dr. T and the Women, I think it was called.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I've talked about this before, and it's with Richard Gere, and it's where he's like this hot gynecologist. A man had to have written, maybe we looked it up once and a woman did write it, but anyways, someone with some serious issues, Dr. T and the Women. Whoever wrote this is a garbage person, because it was so offensive to me to think that these women would go to a gynecologist and get all horned up. Okay.
Helen Hunt?
She didn't write it. She's
Farrah Fawcett was in it.
Yeah. They had some really big
Kate Hudson.
But it
Laura
was
Dern.
a horseshit premise. No one's getting lady boners for your gynecologist when you go there. They're putting metal in your vag. You're sitting in stirrups. They're like, Scoot. Remember that when that joke,
if they're single, you know, like,
no.
They have money.
No. Who wrote it, Chell? You said you were gonna look up who wrote it.
This says it was written by Anne Rapp. Anne Rapp is an American filmmaker, screenwriter, and script supervisor. She's worked on more than 50 feature films.
Okay, what are the other ones?
Okay, you want to know the other ones?
Yeah, because
okay.
it was horrible.
Script supervisor.
Trash.
She would. Okay, I'm trying to find out what else she.
It was just, it was offensive to me. I was young when that movie came out. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And they're like, "I'm here for my pap smear," and you're like, "Oh, give me a break." Richard Gere could not get me. There is very few men or a man that could get me to sit in those stirrups with the duck lips from hell to spread you open to be like.
It's a romantic comedy, Joleen.
Yeah, that's what I hated. There's a romantic comedy where women are just showing up the gynecologist like, I'm here for my second pap smear of the day.
It was. I don't see the issue.
Are you boys in different? Are you talking to us, paid by anyone? Said, are you boys in different rooms? Us boys are in different rooms. I'm in my office, and Chell is around the corner in our little lofted area. Yeah, the metal duck lips. She must have had like a medical fetish. I just walked out of that movie and I said,
which is fair. They can't have that.
Horrible. What other movies did she write? Anything good?
I'm looking.
Sorry, producer.
Because she's also a script director, so I don't want to say she wrote something if she didn't.
Watch, I'm shitting on her, and then it ends up being someone
sounds about right.
Buy a script of mine.
She wrote for a TV series called Gun and Cookie's Fortune.
Sounds stupid. What else?
But a lot of people agree with you that Dr. T is
trash.
4.7.
4.7 out of what? 10?
10. Yeah.
Oh, thank God. I thought it was out of 5. It's horrible. What woman? A romantic comedy at a gynecologist office? Like no, that's a nightmare.
Great.
It's a horror story. It's an American global horror story. I was like, how dare you?
I'm watching the trailer right now and I want to watch this movie. It sounds good.
Did you really watch the trailer?
No, I didn't watch it. A lot of people give it 5 out of 10.
Freaking trash. It's the worst. I can't believe anybody would write that. Or I was like, this is some bullshit. And get your shit together. Get your shit together. So we don't know any other good movies that she wrote?
She only wrote that one.
Well, that makes
TV
sense.
Show.
Yeah, and that shitty TV show. Well, that's what happens when you try to romanticize and sexualize the gynecologist, a place we have to go so we don't die. Literally, they're feeling around for like cysts and, checking for ovarian cancer. And she's like, I'm going to make it where they go there because they're all sexed up, and they would dress and they'd show up and be like, hi, Dr. T.
So far, it sounds really good.
Please
the way
stop.
you're describing
that must have been made by Weinstein. Like that must have been his production company. Was it a Weinstein film?
Who produced it?
Yeah.
You're asking so many questions.
That's what producers do, baby. Mm-hmm.
Food.
Yep. Bunch of horn dog weirdos. Exactly. Boo, tomato, tomato, tomato. Tomato, tomato, tomato on this Ann lady. I bet she's friends with Harvey Weinstein, allegedly.
Robert Altman.
Same. No, I don't know.
He was famous for MASH.
Oh, Nana likes him. Yeah, well, I don't know.
It's
Screw
just
him
comedies. You know, with comedies, you just got to try. Sometimes things don't work. Sometimes they do.
Yeah, but that is just wrong. And the fact that a woman wrote that is double wrong. Okay. Cassie Face had just caught the live. Heard you guys talking about a horrible gynecology movie and nothing else, and already thought Dr. T and the Women. I fucking hated it. Thank you, Cassie. That movie to this day. What year did it come out, Chell?
He worked on a Prairie Home Companion.
I love Prairie Home Companion.
Yeah.
I had a visceral react. I was like, oh! I stood up in the theater and I was like, oh! And I was like, this is horrible.
That sounds like you because you do have visceral reactions a lot.
I do because I'm like,
when it comes to art.
It's so wrong. What year did the movie come out? Was it like late
2006?
2006? Okay, well, I was 26, so I had my fair share of gynecology appointments by then. And I was like, screw this shit. I'm out. Okay. I was like, is this a porn? Because this does not make any sense. DGF said I had a doctor who was so hot that the staff warned me beforehand. They were auntie types. After I saw him, I was like, thank you. I did see a man doctor, ortho, and I looked him up beforehand, but he was the only one that was available. And he was so attractive.
What?
And like, I showed you.
No.
And he was
you didn't
like,
show me.
probably a little like my age, maybe a little younger. And I told Chell, I don't want to see him. And Chell's like, give him a chance. And I'm like, they had no women available. I'm like, fine. I went in there with all my preconceived. I was just not ready. And he couldn't have been nicer. He was so nice, so patient, so like, but he was very handsome. So he did have a little
Did he wash his hair a lot?
He did this a lot. And there was a fan blowing on him. And I could just smell
cool
water
with
go
like
out.
a light perspiration, like he spritzed himself before he came.
And then he started playing Glycerine by Bush with the shirt off. It was super weird. Days go.
Raise your arm. Can you raise it this high? How far can you raise your arm? Glycerine.
No, but he ended up being so nice, so respectful, like very patient, answering all my questions, put me at ease. And I was like, okay, men, you won one today. Today, I will give you one, but just today. Just today. Carolyn, thank you for being a member for 14 months. Happy day. I thought we canceled Peacock. Did we cancel Peacock? We can't because how are we going to watch Traders?
Uh-oh. What'd you cancel it for?
Well, do you know that I have the Broke Girls Peacock and people are leaving comments on my videos when I'm doing my watch party saying, Jolene, you're better than this. Get the upgraded Peacock subscription so you don't have to watch the commercials.
Oh. If you're willing to get rid of Sling, I'm on board.
No, because that's how I watch the Housewives and
You can watch it on the next day.
I can't wait the next day.
And they have no cuss. They have cussing and it's longer.
I have to see both. It's for my work. It's a tax write-off.
Right,
but it was so funny. Someone commented, they were like, Jolene, you're better than that. I was like, actually, I'm not. Actually, I am not better than this.
All right, Joe. Well, I better get out of here. I have to go shopping and send your dad's weight belt to him.
I know my dad.
And I know he's been texting you religiously about it. So.
What is that thing he left here?
A weight belt.
Is it? It's like a back brace thing that he wears when he works out.
A weight belt.
Okay, so he has this thing, and he left it here. And every day I get a text. Poor Paul. Paul's like, "Can we get this shipped?" And I was like, "Okay, Dad." I pulled it out of the closet, but I was thinking, well, they're gonna be back here in February. Can you wait? And he's like, "I'm gonna need that shipped." Did you get that shipped? Dads are on that. Like dads will be like, hello, dads are one track mind when it comes to that. He's like, how can you not think of
He's
my
trying to protect his back. Why not? He's advocating for himself.
Exactly. Good for him. But it's such a dad thing that he's so focused. Like I guarantee my dad is sitting at home like, what's wrong with her? She can't just mail the thing. It's right there.
Oh, she's online again. Not going to mail my thing.
So we got to do that today. All right. Bye, Chad.
Are you gonna be live for a little bit?
No, I'm gonna wrap it up too because I gotta be live. I'm gonna be back here at 4 doing a Traders.
4?
I moved it to 4. Yeah, because I knew we were starting a little bit later.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you. Bye, Chell. Okay, Hype Man Husband Chell. Thank you so much. Our Fridays with Chell, where we go a little bit anywhere we want to. Today, Chell I said, you pick the topics every Friday. He's going to look up the stuff. Last Friday I did look up the stuff, but this Friday we just kind of, had some fun talking about all different kinds of things. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Shout out to all the super chatters today, you guys. Albert, thank you so much. Chickenhead, thank you. Evelyn, Artist, Amy, Ism, Brandy, Nikki, thank you so much. And Carolyn Bird, thank you for being a member for 14 months. You guys, I'm going to be back later this afternoon to do a full Traitors Season 3, Episode 4 live recap, because you guys sounded off in the comments and you said we want a live recap going forward. So I am going to give that to you. So I got to go drink some caffeine, okay, and watch the episode. This will be the third time I watched the episode. It was so good, you guys. We did a watch party last night. It was that episode. I'm still shook. I'm still shook. There is a join button on my, I think one of my mods, if one of my mods could drop the link to join, that would be amazing for Allie. I usually have one in the description of the video. I don't know if this description, I haven't updated it yet, so I might not, but there should be links to join in all my other videos in the description to join my Patreon or my YouTube membership, you guys. And comment after the video post, follow me on social media, smash that like, and I'll see you in just a little bit for the Traitors live recap of Season 3, Episode 4 on Peacock. Until then, enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. Bye.
If you like what you see.